It's been too long since I've gotten to say this phrase, but welcome into LFFL Prime Time. We are back for the 2026 season, the 36th season of LFFL play. So exciting. We've been doing this since 1991 and we are still going strong in 2026. So let's look at what we have planned for this year. Your current planned drafts. We've got your original, your OG league. That slow draft will be in August as it traditionally is. It will be preceded directly by your LFFL2 draft, your Keeper League draft. That will also be a slow draft happening in August, probably right around the beginning of the month. LFFL3, your salary cap league, will as always be a live online draft in August, maybe early September, Labor Day a week later this year. So we do have a little space in the calendar to really find a great date for everybody. LFFL 6, your best ball league for July, will start tomorrow, as will your LFFL 7 eliminator draft. We're going to run these two drafts concurrently. I will not start the Keeper League until one of these two drafts ends. Hopefully, obviously, the best ball draft should end before the eliminator draft. So once the best ball draft wraps up, we'll probably move into the Keeper draft at that point. We also will have an LFFL 6 August best ball draft towards the end of the month. And then your LFFL 10 draft is happening again this year. We'll get into that in a minute, but I've got confirmations that people will be there. And then finally, it's been a slower, kind of a busier spring, early summer for me here. So we haven't gotten around to these two drafts, the LFFL 5 and the LFFL 8. Adding Tony into our best ball drafts slowed those down by just a little bit, but we will work on trying to get those on the calendar. I'm going to see what we're going to do about those. I've got a Google form coming up, some options for you there. So I'd love for you to fill it out and we can see where we land on all of that. LFFL 10, as I told you, is absolutely happening. Again, this year, we're going to have pencils. We're going to have papers. We're going to have notebooks. We're going to have Trapper Keepers, if last year was any indication. We're going with the no technology thing again. I loved it last year. Leave your computers and all that junk at home. Bring your pencils and papers. It was a lot of fun last year. We're going to do it again. I'm going to try to come up with another fun way to do the drafter. I really enjoyed what we did last year. Might be similar. Might be different. I'm working on that still. I still have a couple weeks to figure that out. It will be July the 23rd. It's Thursday night. I think we go right back to Clutch the Canal right here with this picture. Unfortunately, I've ended their special garbage plate deal, but the garbage plates are still there on their menu. So if you still want to do the garbage plate, you can. Just cost you a few more bucks. So hey, it happens, right? Inflation's hitting everybody right now. Look forward to seeing you all on Thursday night. All right, here's what you need to do. Number one, you need to respond to my email text about your draft position. I'll be starting that up this week. LFFL2, I need keepers. We are one per bracket. Of course, you do not have to keep anybody. If you think both guys in the bracket stink, don't keep anybody. So that way you'll have a maximum of 4 keepers when you are done. LFFL 3 keepers, 3 max over there. The prices listed on that Google Doc are indeed your 2026 prices for those players. As always, LFFL2, LFFL3 trading is perfectly encouraged and more than willing to happen if you have some moves you want to make out there. Finally, fill out my Google form. I'm going to send a Google form out, set up a date for the LFFL3, and I want to determine where we're landing on LFFL5 and LFFL8. Both are best ball leagues. I'd love to get those drafts in, but I also don't want to overwhelm us all. So I want to see, number one, are your priorities to get them in? Number two, maybe we can find some creative options to squeeze them in there. So fill out my Google form. There's some questions on there about that. And then finally, let's look back. 30 years ago today, our 1996 season. I actually think of 1996 as really a year we kind of started shifting to a more modern way to play fantasy football. The first 91, 92, 93, 94, 95. We were just figuring out as we went. There was no really defined ways to do it. We were kind of working through what to do. It felt like every year we were making big changes. And I really feel like 30 years ago, we kind of started to arrive at some of our more modern things that we do. Most important to that is this is year we actually scored it on an Excel spreadsheet, which of course is going to pave the way for the way we all do fantasy football now, which is we have a host website somewhere and we do it on the host website. I would literally type scores into an Excel spreadsheet and I had formulas and it would just formulate a score. So we did it that way. It was a lot of fun that year. Live draft was also a ton of fun. We had a ton of trades. I am not sure if it's the most trades in the history of this league ever. I have to go back and do some research. But there was a ton of them. Also, this was the infamous live draft that failed to include John Elway on a certain person's cheat sheet. That happened this year because that happened at Gary Hillman's house where he did the draft. If you all remember that house in that day, that was the year John Elway famously did not appear on a list. Now, this is also the only time in the history of the league the two oldest league members met in the Super Bowl. Is the only time in all the years Matt and I have played, we have met in the Super Bowl. I was able to come out on top, and this is fun, noteworthy too, because I did it by picking quarterback in the first round. That's right. I picked Brett Favre as my number one pick. Turned out to be the top scoring player that year. Can you imagine that happening this year? Someone announcing I had the third overall pick in the draft, someone being like, I want Josh Allen. And Josh Allen is like the player you have to have that year. Doesn't happen that way anymore, but cool little piece of history to look back at. Brett Favre was the leading scorer in the Super Bowl. It was the leading scorer on the season. So it was the right pick by me, and it was cool. A fun season. One where I really feel like we moved, kind of stabilized what we did, and we're kind of moving in a modern era of the league. So a lot of fun that year. Fun to look back. I hope you enjoyed when John Elway was not on the list. So look forward to more fun moments like that in just 2 weeks. I will see you on Thursday, July 23rd. Until then, start checking things off your list. Have a great season this year, and we'll talk to you very soon. See ya.